Let's dive back into our new client onboarding flow that we've been building out in ProcessKit. Up until now, we've been manually creating new onboarding projects every time we're ready to onboard a new client. But wouldn't it be great if these projects were created automatically? When someone fills out a purchase form on our website, we'll want to use that to trigger the creation of a new onboarding project in ProcessKit. For the sake of this example, we'll assume that our website uses WordPress and we're using Gravity Forms for my purchase form. Now, rest assured that this setup would work almost exactly the same no matter which form solution you're using, whether it's Typeform, an e-commerce checkout system, a Google form, or even just a purchase made in Stripe. Any of these can act as the trigger for our Zap in Zapier. So let's get to it. Now I have logged into my Zapier account. If you don't have a Zapier account yet, you can go to zapier.com and sign up there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is create a new Zap, and we'll give it a name. Now, what I'm setting up here is an inbound connection. And if you remember from the lesson on Zapier, an inbound connection is when some other tool is the trigger, and that will initiate an action in ProcessKit in a later step in this Zap. So in my example here, I'm going to be using Gravity Forms. But since your trigger might be anything, I won't cover the Gravity Forms setup in detail. Just about any form solution should work with Zapier. And you can consult your form solutions docs for how to set up this trigger. The most important thing here is that after you connect your form to Zapier, you have to generate a test form submission to use as sample data, which we'll then use as we build out and test the rest of this Zap. To keep this example simple, let's just make sure that your form data passes along a new client's company name. We'll use that company name to form the title of the onboarding project. Now I have connected my Gravity Forms from my WordPress website here as the trigger in Zapier, and I've configured it. Again, I'm not going to get into all the details there, but once you're finished setting that up, go ahead and test the trigger so that you can get that test data. So here's what mine looks like. I submitted a form on my website, and the form contained a field that I called company name, and I had put in example company as the company name. Good, so now I'm going to click continue. And now we're on step 2 of this Zap, and this is where we can connect ProcessKit. So if you go back to the lesson on Zapier, I went over how to actually connect your ProcessKit account to your Zapier account, but I've already done that. So here I'm going to select ProcessKit, and then I'm going to create a project. Click continue. So now we're going to customize the project that would be created every single time that this Zap runs. And so there are a few fields here that we'll need to fill in, and most of them we can leave blank for now. The first one is very important. We have to select our account because doing that will load in the correct data from your ProcessKit account. Next, we're going to select the board from that ProcessKit account, which is the place where we want this new project to be created. In other words, every time this Zap runs, we're going to create a project inside our new client onboarding board. Finally, we'll fill in the project's title. Now, this is the part that's going to be dynamic because we don't want every project to be exactly the same. We want it to dynamically get the name of the company name and use that in the title of each project. But we like to title these projects onboarding of, and then in space, and then we're going to pull in that company name. So we'll get the data from our form submission, and we'll insert that into the title of the project. Again, yours might look a little bit different if you're not using Gravity Forms. Whichever your form solution is, get the field that you created for company name and pull in whatever the user entered as that value here. Now we can leave the rest of these fields blank for now, and we'll click continue. So here's what the data looks like for me. I'm going to click Test and Review, and you should see this green success message, and that means that Zapier has successfully created a new project in ProcessKit. So let's go see if that happened. I'm going to go into ProcessKit, I'm going to go to Boards, I'm going to go to that new client onboarding board, and here it is. It's the first one in the first list in the Kanban. We named it Onboarding of whatever the person typed into the form. And in my test data, the person typed in example company. Let's click into this project now. As you know, since we've preloaded our process in this board, it automatically pulled that in along with all the automations and the content and people that we've built into our process. So that was nice and easy. Now let's go over to the Activity tab. Now here in the Activity tab is where all of the activity for the whole project gets logged. And so far we've only just created the project. And we can see here that Zapier was responsible for creating this project. So we're always crystal clear on which actions Zapier initiated and which actions specific users in the account were responsible for. Now there's one more thing we need to do, and it's probably the most important thing, and that is to turn our Zap on. So you've got to click this button up here in the top right, and you should see the green on signal. Now our Zap is up and running and ready to take any new form submissions and have them automatically fire up new projects in ProcessKit, which of course would then pull in our process and get the wheels turning for us, all automatically. All right, so now that we've set up Zapier to automatically create new projects in ProcessKit, how can we automatically update an existing project via Zapier? Well, in the next Zapier recipe, we'll update our project's tasks when a client has booked their kickoff call.